Hello, my name is Chimbweni Ngalia. I'm the director of COSIA. COSIA is a consultancy practice specialized in international business strategy. So we advise companies in the Western countries that want to expand into African markets. Today I'm going to talk about the renewable energy in Africa and the prospects of the development of this sector in African markets. Africa is the second largest and most populous continent in the world after Asia, with a total land surface area estimated at about 30.2 million kilometers square. It covers 20.4% of the available land area worldwide. The population is currently estimated at 1.4 billion, distributed in 53 countries, and Africa as a whole has one of the fastest economic growth rates in the world. Sub-Saharan Africa, with some 900 million residents, generates about the same amount of power as Spain, which has only a population of 46 million, according to the World Bank. The bank says that since 1995, Africa's power sector has grown an average of 1% annually, or less than 1,000 megawatts a year, even though the capacity needs to expand at more than 10% a year to meet demand. Energy security and access has been big challenges and the main issues to address in terms of the developmental agenda of Africa for the achievement of the Millennium Development Goals. Approximately 600 million people in Africa have no access to electricity. So that's two-thirds of the population of Africa. And those who have access are not sure of the quality or the steadiness of supply. One-third of the estimated 1.6 billion people living without access to electricity worldwide are in Africa. It is estimated that with the exception of Libya, South Africa, and Egypt, the majority of African countries are only able to provide direct access to electricity to 20% of their people. This number is as low as 5% in some countries. Most of the existing power plants and transmission equipment were constructed in the 1950s and 1960s, and in the absence of proper maintenance, they have deteriorated over the last decades. This degradation has forced many utilities to operate only at small fractions of their installed capacity. Access to energy is essential for poverty reduction and promotion of economic growth, and so many African countries have placed poverty reduction and economic growth at the forefront of their priorities. Improving on the energy sector is indispensable for this to be achieved. Therefore, investments towards infrastructure such as communication technologies, education, industrialization, agricultural improvement, and expansion of municipal sanitation systems all require abundant, reliable, and cost-effective energy access. Conventional energy sources that account for over 80% of the world's energy production are extremely limited in supply. Estimates show that many of these energy sources, such as oil, natural gas, or coal, will be completely depleted in the next 70 years. Emissions from the use of conventional energy sources are believed to be totally responsible for global warming, and so increasing international legislation governing energy exploitation and use, coupled with the fact that conventional energy sources are exhaustible, have pushed many countries towards emphasis on renewable energy. The cost of operation and distribution of conventional energy plants is high, and this accounts for the low level of energy exploitation and distribution in developing countries. Also, the high bill of oil imports exposes sub-Saharan Africa to external energy price shocks. Renewable energy can assist in mitigating the negative impact of high fossil fuel imports. They can also offset a significant portion of foreign currency exchange that is used for importing oil for electricity generation. And so turning to renewable energy sources is therefore seen as the only option that can guarantee future cleaner energy production and consequently a safer environment. Many countries around the world are now turning to renewable energy to meet energy deficit, reduce environmental pollution, and guarantee future steady supply. These renewable energy, what do they consist of? They include solar energy, hydroelectricity, wind energy, geothermal energy, wave and tidal power, and biomass. The particular advantage over conventional sources is that they can be exploited and consumed on the spot without a need for long distance and expensive transportation. The lack of appropriate infrastructure to harness and distribute conventional energy sources in Africa produces a favorable climate for renewable energy exploitation. Overall pollution that comes from renewable energy transformation is minimal when compared to fossil fuels, and the cost of operation is reduced since the sources are natural. So renewable energies also require less maintenance on their plants. The scramble for carbon credits will bring a boom in renewable energy business, especially in developing economies like Africa. By the first quarter of 2011, Africa could already boast about 120 projects in preparation for the carbon markets. Although the overall carbon emission level of Africa stands at less than 3%, reduction in emission will still occupy the forefront in policy because of the possibilities of earning income from carbon credits. The World Bank forecasts that the number of green energy projects in Africa could potentially reach 3,200, with the potential to reduce up to 740 million tons of CO2, attracting $7.4 billion in income. This explains why renewable energy exploitation and use continued to grow in 2011 despite a global economic crisis. Prospects are that investments in renewable energy business will have very high chances of success even in the distant future. The harnessing of renewable energy systems is indispensable if many countries are to attain their required energy needs using renewable energy options. Many African countries have drawn their milestones clearly, indicating their intended positions in world economies by certain future dates. And several of these want to achieve this position by first developing the energy sector. So, for example, in 2007, Egypt planned for a steady economic growth of 6%. And for this to happen, energy growth of 3% was deemed necessary, and by 2015 alternative energy exploitation had to increase to 25%. The republics of Cameroon and Gabon want to become emerging nations by 2035, and they believe that for this to happen there has to be a considerable investment in the energy sector. So this and other examples show that investment in the renewable energy sector in Africa has very high prospects, as it will fall in line with the policies of most governments. So that was my short report on renewable energy in Africa and how the landscape is in the continent when it comes to prospects of the development of this sector in African markets. I hope you enjoyed it, and I also hope to see you soon in a next video on a topical subject about Africa development. Thank you. Bye-bye.